All right, I'm going to be doing a review of this book today. This is the International Wushu Competition Routines, a book on those routines. Again, it's called the International Wushu Competition Routines, and this book was made in 1989. It came out in 1989, and this edition that I have here is the second edition, which comes from 1999. And it was approved by the China Wushu Association. Wushu. So Wushu can really be a catch-all now for all Chinese martial arts. So sometimes people say that Wushu is Chinese martial arts. Some people differentiate Wushu and they call this sport Wushu. So there's sport Wushu routines now. And some people differentiate the Chinese martial arts into traditional Chinese martial arts and sport Wushu nowadays. But this is the sport routines, some of the sport routines in there. Wushu translates basically just as martial art. Wu is like martial or military. So it's Wushu, martial art. The Wushu routine started to be standardized in the 1920s, I believe around 1928, but they really, when China started to standardize them even more around the early 1950s. And they kept being changed and standardized over time under different organizations, but mostly in the 1950s, they were standardized as sport Wushu routines. And Wushu consists basically, there are subparts, but the two main parts are Taolu, which are the forms practice, the routines, the solo forms in the air, things like that, and Sanda, which is sometimes called Sansho, which are the full contact fighting that they do. So those are the two parts. And these routines, I think, I could be wrong, but I think they started to be standardized around 1958 by the Chinese government. And this book has the first 7. It's the 7 first international compulsory routines. The routines in this book, they are shown, they're drawings and really good explanations of the form and the lines, and you would think that you couldn't learn things from pictures, but these pictures are extremely detailed. So they put a lot of effort and energy into doing this, and they show really detailed pictures of every segment and lines of movement with arrows in the techniques. I think the empty hand forms you could almost learn from this book. Almost. Some of the weapons might be a little more difficult because they're a little more intricate. But the 7 forms that this book contains are Changchen, which is your long boxing, your long fist routine, a real high jumping routines, your Nanchen, which is your southern boxing, and your Taijichen, which is your grand ultimate boxing or fist, the slow motion routines that they do for sport competition. And then it has also 4 weapon routines it shows in it, which is your Daoshu, which is your broadsword, and your broadsword play, basically. You have your Changshu, which is your spear play, your Jianshu, which is your sword play or straight sword, and your Guinshu, which is your cudgel or staff play. So it's basically got your long fist, your southern fist, your Tai Chi form, your staff, your spear, your broadsword, and your straight sword routines for Wushu. And it gives a little explanation, but great detailed pictures of this. If you're into Wushu, or you really even want to, I'd say they're basic routines, but they're really not basic. They're difficult to do. I learned all of these routines at one time, and I wouldn't consider myself extremely skilled at Wushu, but I trained in all of them and memorized them. So they're not easy, but they're pretty cool basic routines and nothing that most people can't do. There's a few difficult techniques in there like kip-ups and things like that, but and some advanced, butterfly kicking type techniques and stuff. But a lot of the things people can do, or modified versions anyway. So I would recommend this if you're into Wushu. It's kind of a classic book. It shows a lot of the routines, and check it out. It's a part of history, and it's a part of Wushu practice or Chinese martial arts. So see what you think. But that's my thought. I'd recommend it. And if you can like, share, and subscribe, we'll get some more reviews and more videos coming out to you soon.